Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with none other than Selna, America's face of dating. My name is Jeremy. I help online coaches scale their coaching businesses, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So Selna and I have known each other for quite a while now, almost 2 years. So when I was a coach, that's kind of how we met. I think I sold you into that program I was working for, and then helped you get to like 20K a month, pretty much from zero. With a high ticket offer, which is really cool. And then we've been working together for what, under 2 months now, I'd imagine?
Yeah. Like 6 weeks, I think.
6 weeks, yeah. And literally month one, you hit a new record month. You kind of plateau to like 20-ish K a month kind of thing. And then implemented a few little things. We haven't even begun to see the true impact of that. I think give it another 6 weeks and you'll really start to see that hockey stick curve.
Oh yeah.
Which is amazing. But anyways, why don't you give a quick little intro, quick little background, kind of who you are, what you do, who you help, and take it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Selna Kim. Thanks for having me, by the way, bro.
Of course, brother.
And having me
Appreciate
here.
it. Yeah.
So I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating, and gosh, where do I begin? I guess me and Jerry have definitely known each other for 2 years, I believe, right? 2 years now. We started working together, and I started this journey, man. I was actually talking about this the other day with one of the other mastermind members here, but I think it was Tom actually, and he was just asking me the process with my book, and that's how I started the journey. Was that, you know, I really got into this dating world, and somebody gave me the idea of you should write a book maybe one day, and I was like, that kind of was when the light bulb clicked, and I went that route, and you know, I had like a list of like 100 people that were gonna buy my book, or like said they were going to, right? They're gonna support me and everything, and then I go to like publish the book, and literally, like, I only sold like 2 copies that month. And then the next month, guess how many I sold the month after that?
How many?
Like 1. I think that was like myself. I bought it myself to like give it away. And I was like, okay, so obviously what I'm doing is not working, right?
Yeah.
And then month 3 came, I think I sold like 3 copies. And I was like, wow, dude, this is gonna like completely flop. I like had this whole mastermind to like really just like blow this thing up, make it a bestseller. And then it kind of flopped. And then I went to TikTok, and I was like, you know, I really have nothing to lose. Like, nobody that said they were going to support me supported me on the journey, and so I was like, I have nothing to lose. So, you know, I went to TikTok, started making dating advice, and on my 24th video, it blew up. It hit 1 million views, and then the next night, I did it like 3 in the morning, recorded it, and then it hit like 8 million views the next day. And less than 24 hours, I literally went from 0 followers, and 24 hours later, I had 100K followers. So It was like revolutionary overnight. But that's where Jeremy came into play, because I was now an influencer who was famous, who was broke. So, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I have the followers, and people now, I'm going to the bathroom at the gym, and people are like in the urinal next to me like, yo, are you that dating guy? But I'm broke. So I only had like 1 or 2 or 3K in the bank, and
wow.
I tried to do this one thing where it was like a membership kind of thing, and it only got about, I was only making about 2K a month off of that. And so I accumulated enough cash, and then I saw it was like a video online about coaching, and I hopped on a call, and it happened to be Jeremy. I still remember the call to this day. I was upstairs in my mom's like bonus room.
Yeah. And
I was late to the call. I think I was like speeding back home to take the call. And I hop on, and I was like, shit, dude, I was nervous. And he pitched me on the call to, you know, join the program. And it was all the money I had in the bank. I think it was like 5 or 6K at the time. And I was like, you know what? Like, I was working a really shitty door-to-door sales job. Absolutely hated it. Got yelled at, got threatened like every day, and I was like, this is really wearing me down. And I was like, you know what, like I got to bet on myself, and I ended up just draining the bank account, joined the program, and then I quit my job that day as well, and just fully bet on myself. I was like, I'm just gonna eat a bullet if this doesn't work. So that got me here, and fast forward 2 years later, so I've been consistently hitting 20K months, and then I joined Jeremy, and we really started working together more in depth, and you know, more just a lot more into work on the business, and we hit our record month of 30K last month, so we kind of broke that 20K curse, which is amazing.
Amazing job,
and
man.
We were just talking about this morning at breakfast too, like I feel like it hasn't even come to like together yet, you know what I mean? Like it hasn't came together where, like, even in one of your posts you said like it goes, I forget how you word it, it's beautiful.
It happens
but, like,
very slowly,
and then it happens at once. Yeah, all at once, and I feel like that all at once hasn't came yet. But like it's just happening very slowly, like, and that's good if it's 20K slowly, and then imagine what's going to happen when we actually, you know, connect it all. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future, but that's kind of my intro.
Amazing, man. Yeah, it's a good problem to have your rock bottom at 20 to 30K a month.
Yeah, it's a great problem
That's
to
a
have.
great problem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to kind of dive deep and kind of pick apart some of the big things that we actually worked on, some of the big changes, to
Yeah.
make it like as valuable as possible for somebody watching too.
Mhm.
'Cause, I think the biggest thing, I know like before you hopped on like 6 weeks ago, you were very like hesitant, very like on the fence because you're like, hey, look, I've been stuck here for like over a year pretty much, and like it just hadn't really been working. And then like I remember we were sending voice notes through text back and forth to each other, and you're like, man, just tell me, like, just be very brutally honest on like what that would look like. And I remember I think I sent you like an 8-minute voice note or whatever,
Yeah.
and I was just like, all right, here's everything we're gonna do. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be very long, and probably won't really see the impact of it for a little bit, like for a little while. In terms of like completely flipping your entire messaging on its head. And we took a complete 180 and kind of like steered the ship in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
And the reason why we did that, and I appreciate you putting your trust in me to actually implement that, because I know like it was very different from what you had been doing before and what had been like working as well.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like put all our chips on the table with this big messaging shift. Yeah, 6 weeks in, you like grew your business by 50%, which is insane.
Yeah, incredible.
And like I'm just really excited to see kind of what the next like 6 to 12 months are gonna look like from here on out.
Oh yeah.
One of the big things that we changed too, and I'll just kind of like briefly touch on it, and then I'll let you kind of explain it, what that was like on your side, but was the messaging. So before, you were attracting a lot of people that didn't have money, a lot of broke people, and I see that time and time again working with people that have audiences, because like organic audiences, because it's just casting a really wide net. So when you have like a higher ticket program, it's really difficult because you speak with a lot of broke people, because it's hard to filter them out, right? You got to sift through a lot of dirt.
Oh yeah.
And especially in your DMs, they're going crazy, but a lot of them are like 15 years old with no money, right? And if you're trying to sell like a thing for at least a few grand, then like it's an uphill battle. So what we did was like completely shift that. We're no longer just kind of like teaching like not making content or anything about like teaching kind of like kids how to like pick up chicks. It's more so like shifting towards a completely different demographic, speaking to a completely different audience who has money, who has a much more painful problem that's a lot deeper to their core, and with the urgency as well to actually take action to fix that. So those were some of the three kind of main like pillars of that shift. But I'd love to just kind of get your perspective on it as well, because that's kind of like what I saw from like a first principles like overview of like, okay, those are the tweaks we need to make, those are the things that we need to fix, but then you're the one actually implementing that, and now like starting to get a small little taste of what's to come too. So what's that been like for you?
It's been, it was scary, man, because I don't want to say scary, I guess that's the wrong word, but I guess I was hesitant would be the right word for it, because, you know, as you've known, I've been through other programs, and everyone nowadays is like trying to sell a course, it seems like, you know what I mean? And it's just, you know, I started this journey with you, I felt like, and then I went and transitioned, did other programs, and I wasn't getting exactly the results that I wanted, or promises that were made that just weren't fulfilled. And you know, I just came back to you. We've been friends for, you know, a long time, it seems like, or at least known each other, and I was like, you know what, like I started the journey with Jeremy, and he got me to this level, so it's like I want to finish that journey, finish what I started at least, you know, and hit that, hit at least scale to 50 to 100K per month, you know, potentially. But I was hesitant, you know, because of that reason, but that's why I just want to be, you know, just totally upfront and honest with you in that voice audio, and just be like, dude, like, this is what I've seen, you know, can we do it? If you don't think you're the right guy for the job, dude, like, we don't have to waste our time, you know what I mean? It's only 8 or 10K. But I knew at the same time, you know, and I think this is going to be really important for the guys that are watching, that are on the edge maybe, or, you know, they might be where I was 2 years ago, you know, investing all your money in the bank into a coaching program is pretty damn scary. So, you know, but like I said, I was hesitant, and this is going to be really good for those guys, just because people are going to pass you up. There's someone that you don't know out there that probably doesn't look like you, probably not as handsome as you, you know what I mean? But he's competing with you, and you don't know who it is. There's someone out there in the world who wants it more than you, and he's going to take that risk. And if you don't take that risk and at least bet on yourself, someone else is going to do it. If you're not going to do it, someone else is going to do it. And so I was like, you know what, like, I want to be the guy that does it. And so I was like, you know what, like, it's only 10K. Like, I was like, I'm going to bet on myself. And like, I know that's going to be a long process. It might take 90 days. It might take 6 months. It might take a year. But I really believe in your process. And I was like, it's obviously working so far, and I'm going to keep believing in that and really keep working my ass off to get to that 50, 100K mark. I know you're going to help me get there. I fully believe that with all my heart.
Me too.
But yeah, like I said, like it comes down to like the first thing was just like the mindset thing of just like if someone else is going to do it, if you're not going to do it, guys. So, you have to take action, or someone else that you don't know out there in the world is going to do it. And I think that was just the first thing of just being like, I saw you and the success that you were growing to massively and also quickly, but it was also very powerful, very controlled at the same time. And I was like, that's exactly what I want right there. I'm a pretty normal dude, I feel like,
Me too.
I like the same things that everyone else like. I like to drive fast cars. I like to shoot guns. But I also want to be the guy where it's like if my mom or my parents were in the hospital and the medical bill was like 20K, I could just be like, here, take that. I want to be the guy that can do that. So, and to be that guy, you have to be the guy that is ready for that and able to take that risk to do that. And that was just the first thing that we did. That doesn't even get to like all the important marketing pieces that I know you want to get to, but I think that's going to be one of the most important pieces for the guys that, are on the fence. So
100%. Yeah. And I think I'm glad you talked about this. I'm glad you brought this up because like none of the marketing stuff matters until you make that shift and that commitment internally yourself anyways. Because like you could have the best programs and courses in the world, but if you're not actually the person that you need to become in order to actually start attracting and receiving the success that you want, you're never going to actually take action. Or if you do, you're not going to do it the right way. And you're not going to get very far with it either. In the last week, I think I've invested like 25K into a couple new mentors as well, like for myself. And one of the things I realized and kind of like acknowledge with that too was like, yes, I'm investing into what they know and how they can help me get towards my goals a lot quicker. But even more so than that is kind of like what you said, like you burn the boats, you burn the bridge. There's no plan B. You have to make this work. You back yourself into a corner, and the only way out is forward. And for me, like doing that, it was more so just kind of like putting my money where my mouth is to show myself almost how much I actually do want the things that I claim that I want and what I'm willing to do to get there and to make it happen. So by you just going all in, betting on everything, literally all of your chips on the table, I think what you did there was like you just made that commitment to yourself. You're like, okay, I am all in. I'm going to make this happen. Because I know like years ago when I was like super hesitant to do stuff like that, I wouldn't get anywhere because subconsciously I was telling myself that, you know what, maybe I don't actually think I can do this. Right? So I think that's like a much bigger shift in like the program itself almost like is just that internal shift there.
Yeah, and I think too, like I was also very comfortable. Like, when my family committed bankruptcy when I was younger, it's like, oh, like an extra 1 to 2K per month would really help us. And like in my head, I had this weird thing where it was like, oh, like 10K per month was like, oh, I'll be making more than like a PA or like some doctors. And like especially all my professionals at 10K, like I was just like I think it's the magic number for everyone, right? 10K.
Oh yeah.
Like 10. I think it's for everyone, right? Like that's just like the number. Like, oh, if I'm making 10K, like I'm like Jeff Bezos has nothing on me is what you're thinking, right? But it's like I started working with you, man, and we really broke down my offer. And it's like we got me to 10K pretty quickly 2 years ago. I think it was like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, wow, I'm rich. Okay. And then 20K happened, and we've been hitting that consistently. And it's like then it's like I just became comfortable, and I was like, you know what? Like I know I have even more to offer, but it's also it's not about the money necessarily. It's like I know that my offer could change a lot of men's life, and it's like my goal of doing this is like when my parents went through a divorce, I had to go stay in a shelter, and it really impacted my family a lot. And I was like, if I can give what I know about relationships and dating to the world, it's going to make the divorce rate even go down.
Wow.
And I was like, if I can, my offer can really impact a lot of men out there. And so I was like, it's not necessarily about how I can make more money. It's about how can we make the offer so good that it makes people want to do this. And it's just going to make the world a happier place overall, I believe. So that's where I believe the hockey stick effect is going to really take place. And I know that it kind of bothers me a little bit too, because I know there's men out there that could be committing suicide, or, because they got a divorce or whatever, all their money's gone, and they don't know how to handle a relationship, and it's like, it bothers me now where I'm like, I could be saving more people, I feel like. And so I feel like with Jeremy's help, it's really going to help me impact more men, and maybe even women too, because the men will be treating the women differently. But
100%.
yeah, so I don't really know where I was going with that, but I just thought that would be valuable to include, I guess.
That's great, man. Yeah, and to kind of like piggyback off that too, I think once you hit a certain point, your itches are kind of scratched. When you hit like 20K a month, like you said, you get pretty comfortable. You can kind of do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Well, like anything above that doesn't make that big of a difference, as long as like you're a normal guy and you have a pretty like normal lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from this.
That's beautiful.
Like,
yeah. Water's freaking clear, man.
Yeah. And yeah, right now we're in Tulum, Mexico at the client retreat. We've been having an absolute blast.
Oh, yeah.
We're working really hard last night, so that's why my voice is a little messed up. But
Same here, yeah. A lot of work.
But no, I think it's really important that like to understand that after a certain point, you kind of make that shift away from getting into business and growing it to be selfish, to get away from your pain.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be like, so I can have the nice things, so we can buy Rolexes and like go on fun adventures like this with people and actually meet up in person and whatnot, live in a nice place, drive a nice car. Like, but once you kind of have those things, and I feel like you can pretty much do all that, like 20K a month, but then on top of that, you kind of start to make the shift, the transition from like away from pain and like your intentions are very selfish towards like being more selfless, towards like a desire, towards creating a bigger impact and changing guys' lives, exactly like what you said.
Yeah.
And actually making a dent and making an impact. And I feel the exact same way. When I first started, I was very selfish, just like trying to just do it for me.
Me too.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make money. I just want to make money.
Yeah, just get out of the rat race.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to make 10K a month. And now it's like, shit, I spent that yesterday here.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right? But like.
Yeah, we have a picture of the receipt at the mastermind we were working hard at. So.
Yeah. Something like that.
Mastermind dinner, yeah.
But no, I think that's really like, I think that's when that hockey stick curve, that compound effect really does start to take into account.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you kind of make that transition from like, I'm building this to serve my needs, in like towards you shift and you transition towards, I'm building this to actually build the best damn program I can,
mm-hmm.
to change as many people's lives as I can, so I can actually see that impact and see that input as well. And like, that's what I love about what I do, is because like everybody here, there's 19 of us here, and everybody's a coach, mm-hmm. and everybody is like, they're amazing coaches, and they create such a big impact too. So it's like, it's cool for me to see like the butterfly effect, because it's like, as a result of somebody who found you from ads that I helped you run, now their family like their family bloodline pretty much is going to be changed forever, mm-hmm. through the way that they carry themselves. And I think that's invaluable. That's really, really cool, really fulfilling too.
Yeah. And
we can make a lot of money and make a really big impact and actually feel good, excited to mm-hmm. continue working, because you're building something bigger than you. Then I think that's when the hockey stick curve does start to really, really pick up.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, just adding on to that too. I remember being back in the day, like 5-6 years ago, probably watching an interview like this. I'm just like, they're different, bro. They're different from me, and I'm no different from any of you guys. I'm probably honestly started worse than most of you guys. Bankruptcy, divorced, you name it, dude. Like, I was bottom line. Like, I was the kid in school that was never supposed to make it, dude. Never. And it's like, if I can be the guy that it's now, it's like I can buy whatever I want. You name a watch. There's probably some watches I can't buy still. I'll admit that. Maybe like an AP. But that'll come very soon. I was the guy that never supposed to make it. You know what I mean? In school. And the kid that was always bullied and had the lowest confidence, got rejected by the girls I wanted. And it's like, if I can go from literally ground zero and build that all the way up to where it's at today, it's not even close to even potential yet. There's no way you guys can't do it either. And there's probably someone behind the camera that's like, oh, bullshit, man, you're different. I'm just like, bro, like, fact checked it. It's not, I'm no different from you. So it's like, you really have no excuses not to just bet on yourself. You're just wasting time if you don't, in my opinion. That's just my opinion about that. So I wish I moved sooner.
I love that. What advice would you give yourself, your younger self, in terms of business? What do you wish you knew sooner? What skills or like moves, maybe tactical moves in the business, do you wish you like had acquired sooner or did sooner that would have helped kind of speed up your progress?
I wish that I believed in enough of myself to charge a higher price earlier. Right? I think so many people are undervaluing themselves, like selling like anything less than 1K is just disgusting to me, to be honest, right now. And that was back in the day where it's like people would hear this interview that might be my fans and they might be like, dude, you charge like $60 an hour to talk to you. Like if I charge that now, dude, maybe people lining up. I just don't want to do that though.
Yeah.
I wish I charged my prices way higher at a premium way sooner, because honestly, I don't think it's even to the close peak price I could even price it at. I think it's more valuable. So I still think I'm undervaluing myself a lot.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is that I wish that I marketed in the way where it's like I could have impacted more people sooner with like ads and gotten like the right audience in there pretty sooner. So I wish that I would have gotten that top of funnel, middle funnel really dialed in. And that's why I feel like you're helping me do a lot. Because if I got that process correct about 2 years ago, I probably would have been a multimillionaire right now. And that's like, it's things to say, right? With 1 million plus followers, I probably could have been a multimillionaire, but
yeah,
it's going to come eventually. You know what I mean? And it's a very valuable mistake. I'm just like, you know what? It's just a number.
Yeah.
So I'm eventually going to get it in my eyes. But yeah, it's things a little bit to look at that. But at least I had my toe in the water to say that I could have done that. And I was only a few inches away from that versus a lot of people who couldn't even fathom that number. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And I think no matter who you ask, everybody's probably going to say the same thing. Like, there's so many things I wish I knew sooner too, where I'm like, man, if only I just started making YouTube videos 5 years ago, right? And
yeah, the YouTube thing as well. Yeah, I wish I stuck with that.
Yeah.
Now I'm making a comeback, so.
There we go. Yeah, that's been a huge factor. That's awesome, man. Any other advice that you would give to somebody who's maybe exactly kind of like where you were at? Because I know like you're kind of plateaued, like stuck around 20K a month for a long time, and you were working really damn hard to break past that.
Yeah, like 10-hour days it felt like, dude.
Yeah.
Burning out.
Yeah. So like what would you tell somebody who's in a similar spot to where you were at before, like to kind of break through that plateau? What do they need to do?
To break through it, I really think that the work ethic does matter. Like I think that you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I think a lot of people nowadays are afraid of hard work. But you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty, and like you also can't be afraid to take a risk and just bet it all, and just at least start. So I mean, for the people that are watching, like obviously they probably haven't started yet. Some of them are probably guys that are going to watch it and get some value from this anyway that are already in the program, but I think a lot of the majority that are watching just haven't done it, and that's fine. Like take your time and sell yourself with all the testimonials, right? Like there's no rush here. But if it's like 4 years down the line, you haven't done anything yet, like that's a you problem right there. That's because you don't believe in yourself to even do something like this. And like eventually, you're either gonna get to your grave, and I think I did a study. I used to volunteer at this old people's home. There's stats. So there's 3 things that people regret in life when they get too old. Number 1 is that they wish they had more time, obviously. Number 2 is that they wish they took care of their bodies, were healthy more. And number 3 was the biggest one, they wish they took more risk when they were younger. And it's like if you guys are younger, 30, 40, even 40 and below, like you still have plenty of time. You probably still got 2 or 3 more opportunities to make some really generational wealth happen. And this is definitely a place to start with that.
I love that, man. Yeah, I think it's very clear that like both you and I, and honestly everybody else here, is like everybody's made the commitment that like we're here to change our family's bloodlines forever. And it's just going to be surreal to see 12 months from now where everybody is, where you're at, where I'm at.
I can't wait.
Me neither. We're definitely going to do a hell of a lot more retreats like this.
Yeah.
And probably within the next few months too. So if you do want to come hang out in person for like 4, 5, 6 days and have a ton of fun and work really hard and not play too hard. Cue the montage from last night, but then you know what to do. And like I think one last thing I'll say too is like maybe I'll just ask you actually, what impact do you think having a community has had on your success too? Just people that are at a similar place or even ahead of you to learn from and kind of talk through ideas with and stuff like that. Like, how impactful has that been for you?
It's been pretty impactful. I didn't realize like the power of actually getting in person like until this weekend, because like before this weekend, like I was feeling like a little bit burnt out. I'll be honest about that, audacious, and I was feeling burnt out, and I went here and I was just like, like I feel like there was like a little bit of arrogance too with it too, where I'm just like I pretty much know it all is what I felt like, and then coming here, I was also pretty humbled, just being like, wow, like I really have so much to do still, so much to grow and learn, and so it was really just like a humbling, like as they say, like pride cometh before the fall. I was like, I could sense there was a fall coming. I was like, you know what, like just take a step back and humble yourself, and you realize that you don't really know shit. So you're just a dude making 20K, 30K a month right now.
Yeah.
You still got way more potential and more to give the world. But, like I said, I'm really excited to even scale to really signing and getting 5 great guys in my program per week and really changing their lives and scaling to a really great business, making 6 figures per month.
Yeah.
Is going to be pretty epic. So I know that you're going to be the man to help me get there, man.
100%. And we're already, you're already building the foundation very, very damn well right now. Just attracting the right people into your audience. Because that was like kind of the biggest thing. It was just sifting through all the dirt, getting all the broke people out of there, the bad fits and stuff like that. And then we've really focused on the quality, right? And I think that we've already started to see, like, some of the guys that are coming to you, like, a lot of them have a ton of money. You're getting way more PIFs, paid in fulls, and everything like that too. And I truly believe that this is just a taste of what's to come. So, man, appreciate you hopping on. I'm extremely proud of your progress so far, and just how you carry yourself, how you lead your community as well and your clients, and just how genuine and authentic you are too. So not too many people out there are like that. So I respect you a lot for that. And,
absolutely, man.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and so that said, thanks for watching, guys. If you are an online coach doing at least 5K a month and you want to take that next step, you want to level up and potentially hang out in person a few months from now as well. And but most importantly,
ski trip.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a ski trip, get a master chalet, ski in, ski out, hot tub, stuff like that. That'd be a lot of fun. If that's you and you want to get help to get to that next level and kind of make that commitment to yourself that you can actually do it, then either book a call down below, links in the description, check out the main video on my YouTube channel, watch some other client interviews, go to my Instagram, scroll through my story highlights until your thumbs get sore from scrolling because there's millions of them. Or shoot me a DM on Instagram if you're ready to rock and roll. If you got any questions, we can handle things from there. So aside from that, appreciate you, Selna. Let's go enjoy the sun.
Yeah, I'm gonna go snorkel, I think. So you'll see me in the ocean.
All right. I got another one to record right after this, so you might see him swimming in the back there afterwards. But once again, man, appreciate you. And
thank you, bro.
Yeah, I look forward to our next interview.
Absolutely,
12
man.
months from now.
Yeah, man, scaling
Hell
even
yeah.
higher.